Madison was a foster baby that came to live with us at 7 weeks old. She has extensive early childhood trauma in that she was drug exposed and probably alcohol exposed, and was perfectly normal little baby, happy, met all of her milestones until we started preschool and had lots of acting out. They would tell us she ran out of the door, described her as a wild animal. So in first grade, we felt like we had behaviors that were keeping her from learning. So we had behaviors that needed to be addressed so that we got educational needs met. But as we got into second grade and we had an environment where they understood her and were working very hard to deal with her disability, we then had educational holes causing behavior. Probably for my daughter, the lowest day was she'd had a very bad episode. She had scratched her teacher's face and it had drawn blood. And they had to send a note home because it had obviously traumatized the other kids in the class. So to read that and to know it was my child that did that, you know, just knowing that every parent in the room got that and they would be asking their child what happened and Madison's name would be going around as that child. I just wanted everybody to know that she's not that kid, that she's a really sweet little girl.
And I try to put myself always in that parent's position. You know, as a parent, if I were hearing this, how would I want it to be told to me?
If you were able to send something, just a quick little something to their parent, because you know they don't always get the happy notes and the good reports. So you have to find those little things and definitely communicate those with the parents.
You need to listen to the parent too and get their perspective on it. Parents absolutely have got to be a part of any planning team that you do with students.
Every day that I see them, and then I spend time with them, you know, whether it's just 3 to 5 minutes, walking into the lunchroom, sitting down by them, just to know that somebody cares and wants to listen to their stories.
Getting to know the kid. What do you like to do? What do you do in your free time? What's your home life like? Do you have friends? Just getting to know them a little bit better so I can plug in exactly what they need. Or if I don't get to know that student, the data is in a vacuum and that kid may or may not succeed.
We make sure that those parents know that we are on their team, that they have a team working with them, a staff, you know, that will be there to support them, that will, you know, pick them up when they fall.
You work with all these people in the school. You work with the behavior specialist. You work with the diagnostician. You work with your administrators, and you come up with a plan.
We talked all about collaboration today with the general ed and special education, with interventionists, with your administrators, that everybody's looking at the students that you serve and how can we best serve those students.
Everyone sitting around this table has your kid's best interest in mind, and we're going to do everything possible to help them show growth and to be successful. And it's not all about test scores, you know, and it's about the growth.
If we know it's auditory processing, the parent has got to know that too. They're not ignoring you at home, mom and dad. It's because they really aren't hearing you and processing that.
It was pretty eye-opening. I didn't realize the students who have perhaps maybe audio or visual processing, what that sounded like, what it looked like, what it felt like, and how confused and dazed I was when I walked away going, my goodness, if this is what a student feels like every day, no wonder they don't want to learn, because now I know what that looks like and feels like and how probably alone they probably felt. I was a lot more sensitive to those kids because, gosh, if this is what it's like sitting in my classroom and we're doing think, pair, share, and they don't want to talk, or talking just expounds their difficulties, it made me a lot more sensitive to that. My empathy grew.
That's very important, that we like to call our parents and give them a heads up, hey, this is what's going to be talked about in the ARD meeting, and this is what the testing has found, and let them know that you know, this is the information that's going to be presented, or now it's let's all have time to think about this and digest this information, research this information if we don't know anything about it.
Also, just having that transparency with the school helps me as a parent to be more transparent. And I think really if we're going to help kids, there has to be transparency on both sides, on parent and school.
It's not a disability, it's a difference. Everybody learns differently. We all learn differently. If you tested yourself and myself, we would learn differently than each other too. So I think that we're going to just go to where we look at every person as an individual. What does that person need?
Being very specific every day of the goal and how I'm going to reach that goal is key. And did I meet the needs of all of those kids? GT, dyslexic, socioeconomical, bilingual, ESL. Did I meet those needs?
They've taken that knowledge, and now I know this kid has a processing disorder. That's why he's getting extra time. It makes more sense now why they have these accommodations, and so now I have the knowledge to know the why, and then I have the knowledge to implement these different strategies to help them through that as well. My hope for that kid is that every teacher, you know, we have them K-5, and then once they leave us, we know that kid. We get 5 years with that kid, and we see them grow so much. And we see the potential there. And my hope is that as they go into middle school and as they go into high school, that the teachers continue to see that in this child. And my dreams for them is that they set big dreams for themselves and don't let anybody along the way stop you, because you can do it. You may have a year that you have a tough teacher, but know that you have a whole cheering squad saying you can get through this and you can do this. And my dreams are probably bigger than their dreams for themselves, because I can see the potential in them.
Just to see the confidence from when we started to when we ended the school year. Did he still struggle? You bet. Did he still have a lot of challenges ahead of him? Absolutely. But did I see progress in his own strength and character? I sure did.
It breaks my heart that some teachers minimize some of our students, and those are the kids that if they know that you love them, they will do anything for you. Not our teachers, but just teachers in general. They just minimize them. They're like, oh, you can't, oh, they won't be able to do it. I'm gonna work with these who can. And you're like, they can do it, they can do it.
The training you need to teach general ed amazingly well is the same training you need to teach special education amazingly well. Again, knowing your kids, knowing your content, and applying that on the individual level.
The brain and how it works is very intriguing, and I don't think you can ever learn enough about it. And so I think the more we know about how the brain works and how it's impacting our kids, the better we will be able to meet their need.
I'm sure it's no secret that there's teachers and staff members who think that kids are lazy sometimes. But when the people went through the immersion part of the process and they figure out, oh, that's not lazy, that's due because he can't even hear what I'm saying, or he's not processing what I'm saying, then it changes your perspective on the student, and I think you have more empathy and you're willing to try some different things with the students, and so it changed their perspectives.
Well, you have to make sure that you have the right staff. So as a principal, you definitely grow your teachers in that way so that they know when these kids walk in their door that I've got people in place that can address their needs and meet their needs where they're at. So it does take quite a bit of staff development, not a lot, but you know, the teachers they're the experts in the classroom, they know their content, but they don't always get students with various needs or that particular need every single year.
When I started this, I was going to be here for 4 days. I was thinking about this last night. I was thinking about Madison. And I was thinking about, you know, what if they came to me and said, hey, can you move on with her? I absolutely would do it. I love your girl. I do. We definitely went through a lot together. I'd do it again. I would.
My name is Madison and I'm going to be in 3rd grade. I love my teachers and they love me. and they work so hard.